and welcome back to the current ongoing Yu-Gi-Oh! What If? Lead swap What If? What if Jaden was the lead of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX? Obviously we're moving on past the Rare Hunter episode. We're now in the Arcana episode. Because remember, we're following Jaden's story, not Joey's story through Battle City here. So there's there's really nothing that would change at all with anything going on that's not involving Jaden. Few things. One, someone brought up, and I'm not complaining about this, they're not wrong with this, that the duels are more just plot narratives for the story, so I can theoretically do whatever I want. That is true to an extent, but keep in mind, we don't watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Much for the story. Yes, to a degree, but we're there to watch the duels. So the duels play probably as an important part in the story as anything else. But beyond that, it's a question of, do we think these characters would actually, especially with their more modern decks, or more, in the case of, like, say, of Reigns or an Arc V, hell, even at 5D is a lot more advanced than Duel Monsters, or their more ancient decks, like Duel Monsters going into Arc V, but could they even survive? So I do like that idea of testing it. Also, I did something different based on a suggestion a viewer made. And I honestly didn't even consider doing it until I realized, well, yeah, why don't I just do this? So my method in the last video of figuring out how to do the duel was to take a duel from the series the character who's been swapped in was in, of equal turns, and then just play that duel out. That way, the cards they draw, all that. But someone brought up, well, why don't I just randomize it and then go from there? Find a deck list, which I did online. I think I'm tweaking it a little bit based on what's in there, but find a deck list that's online and get a randomizer and just randomize, like assign a number to each card and then just randomize the card and then randomize the hand, and that's the hand he draws. And I thought of that, and I kind of like that idea a little bit better. I think, though, depending on how this ultimately ends up playing out. By the way, I'm not going to tell you when they use up their three. It's not this episode, don't worry. But I'm not going to tell you when they use up their three plot armor moments. When they use up their plot armor moments, that's it. They lose. Because remember, Yugi lost in Waking the Dragon, so it's fair game to lose, and what the ramifications of that might be. But more to the point, I think I'll try it this way. Because it did ultimately work out. I did finagle a little bit, but I don't count it as cheating for the plot armor thing here. But I think I'll try it this way, and then I'll try it one other way next video. This way was just pretty much all randomized, maybe one concession here, but nothing serious. I think the next video I'll try randomizing the starting hand for the first 5 cards, and if they're playing out fairly well for like plays, then I'll randomize his draw. But if they're not, I think what I'll do then is make the 6 cards something that can at least make the hand more viable. And I think that is the perfect, like, maybe the mix and marriage. But I digress, so let's get into it. Jaden and the Pharaoh, obviously, are walking. They're just looking for a match, keeping their eyes off of Merrick. Yugi, meanwhile, or Atem, anyway. Atem, meanwhile, is kind of contemplating about everything, and Jaden kind of goes, well, what's going on? It's just everything. This is supposed to be a fun. This is supposed to be a. Let me rephrase it. I did actually write a dialogue for this thing. I'm just making this up as I go. But Yami most likely is thinking about, we never just have a time to duel and enjoy ourselves. It seems every time something happens, a new threat is emerging. Now we have this Merrick kneeling, and he's after our puzzle. Yeah, I know, but we've dealt with worse before, and we deal with him too. Because you've got me by your side, man, and I never give up, and I never back down, no matter what. And you can always rely on me. Plus, we got Joey and Taya and Tristan's on it. Thank you, Jaden. You really are a good friend. Now let's go find another duel. I'm itching for a fair fight after that cheater. Come on, sir. True. It would be nice to have at least someone who doesn't have to cheat their way and say, "Oh, welcome, Jaden." And who are you? It's like, if you want the answer to that, you'll have to walk over there, 52 paces to that tent over there. And this way. Then obviously Taya and Grandpa Yuki in this case, because he wouldn't be Muto. Although, I mean, you have different grandpa. You have two grandpas. So I'm guessing Grandpa Moto is actually his dad's dad, not his mother's dad. Because we've never met Yugi's parents. So, yeah, no, sure. He could be a Muto. It's just, in this case, we make the Muto the mom's side. There you go. But anyway, Grandpa Muto. And obviously Jaden goes in, and they go in, Jaden, I have a bad feeling about this. You better let me take over. Are you sure about this? I am. And then, Yugioh! And obviously Jaden's hair doesn't change. You know what? I think it would be fun that his hair doesn't change color, but it kind of does change shape a little bit to kind of look a bit more like the Pharaohs. And he does get kind of like this glowing eyes of the Supreme King, but here it's Yami, more or less. They glow. I believe Yami's eyes are purple. Am I right? I believe Yami and Yugi, but Atem, Yugioh, Atem. I believe their eyes are purple. Yeah, they're purple. So yeah, he gets maybe purple eyes. Jaden Yuki accessing archive footage, rare card, and to be fair, whatever. I don't know what card would be listed. Maybe Flame Wingman would be there, which Flame Wingman's a pretty powerful card for something that's only 2100 attack. That attack is like destroy a monster, all that attack is gone. So yeah, but and then all of a sudden, and to change it up a little bit, obviously Jaden's not the master of the Dark Magician. He doesn't wield the Dark Magician here. But what I could see out is that you feel your monsters better than me. You have a lot to learn about power and the true power of the shadows, Jaden Yuki. And the Dark Magician. Oh, I forgot. And the Dark Magician shows up. It's like, enough tricks. It's like, I see you're not to be intimidated, Jaden. It's like, I'm not going to be intimidated by some charlatan magician. You see, I am the wielder of the Dark Magician. It's true, Master. You can't possibly win against me. Real dealers relies more on just their cards. They put faith in their self and their deck. And believe me, and he just kind of, instead of drawing one card, he draws multiple as he reveals the elemental. Here's like, I have more than one monster I rely on. I rely on my entire deck, and all the elemental heroes are kind of, at least the big core four are like floating right behind them and like kind of squaring off. Which power-wise, yeah, altogether they're stronger than Dark Magician if you were to add them up. I was like, very well, then follow me. And very well, duel. And they, split the decks. Obviously, Arcana cheats. And to make it more fun, these discs will send us to the Shadow Realm ones. And the actual, no, it was just buzzsaws. They were just going to get killed. It's like, what? And Jaden's like, can't we ever just get a fair game? Apparently not. Who are you working for, Arcana? It's like, wouldn't you like to know, Jaden? I promise, I will defeat you. Now, duel! Now, Arcana's hand, it opens up, and we actually get a good look at his hand in the original. It is Dark Magician, Dull Demise. He draws the Fiend's Gesture. I gotta get my notes for this duel up now. He draws I believe it's what is it? Legion of the Fiend's Gesture, or Legion of the Fiend's Gesture. He has Beckon to the Darkness and Mystic Guillotine. Now, a huge departure that's going to happen in this duel is that Jaden doesn't play one of my favorite cards back in the day was Card Destruction. Before I got banned because it really just messed people up. I just like the idea of resetting games kind of in some ways. Like, hey, they got this game plan. No, you don't. Card Destruction. Let's do the time warp again. Like, I love Card Destruction, man. I played it all the time when I could. But yeah, Jaden doesn't have Card Destruction, which means this hand stays the same. And what's more, when you actually because I had to look up what Back into the Darkness and Mystic Guillotine do. First off, they're anime-only cards. But beyond that, I'll do a real quick check here just to be 100%. Back in to the dark. Yeah. It's back in the dark's an anime-only card, and I believe Mystic Guillotine's an anime-only card. From everything I could find, these cards do the exact same thing, which is send a monster from the graveyard or from the field to the grave. Either destroy it or remove it, one or the other. Which means Arcana opened up with actually a pretty broken hand for this type of duel. And this is where I really have to kind of play with things a little bit, because when Yugi did the card destruction, Arcana had to draw a whole new hand. We didn't find out what a lot of those cards were. So I had to play around a little bit with that. Regardless, though, what is Jaden Yuki, a.k.a. the Pharaoh's hand? Well, I'm glad you asked. You see there, kids. I'm making sure I'm all... Come on. Oh, come on. There we go. Will you just... There we go. Sorry, it's... Anyway, so his starting hand consists of... maybe if I also did this as well. So Jaden's hand, again, I don't really have editing capabilities at all. What I kind of do a lot of this on the fly, so give me 1 second here. Okay, what Arcana's hand ultimately is, Jaden's hand is Elemental Hero Wildheart, Elemental Hero Necroshade, Fusion Recovery, Wing Kuriboh level 10, Transcendent Wings, and his draw is Sparkman. By the way, I will not be doing the opponent's cards on the field this time. It's just going to save me room on here. But if you're watching this, I assume you know how it played out. But I'll still give you the play-by-play of what Arcana ultimately does for his opening hand. Now, it was Jaden who went... It was the Pharaoh, or Yugi, who went first in this duel. So, his play, first and foremost, is to play Elemental Hero... come on. There we go. Nope. Come on. Okay. Elemental Hero Wildheart in attack mode. He would then set Transcendent Wings on the field. We're just going to put those there to represent that they're on the field. And end his turn. Now, Arcana's play here, he draws Dark Renewal. So if I remember, Dark Magician. No, he draws a Legion Fiend Gesture. That's what he drew. So here, though, it's a very different hand, because he basically plays, in this case, he plays, which one did I decide he plays? Doesn't really matter. Beckon to the Dark, I believe I had to play. So he plays Beckon to the Dark and destroys Elemental Hero Wildheart. So Wildheart is adios from the field. And then he summons Doll of Demise with 1,600 attack points and attacks Jaden directly. So Jaden takes a big hit right there. So that sucks for Jaden. Then Jaden's turn comes around, and he draws... Where are you? Ooh, there you are, my little buddy. And he draws Rottweiler. Now, Rottweiler stays in his hand, and Jaden knows he doesn't have anything in his hand he can play. He can't even play Necroshade because it's a tribute monster. But he knows that he can't go in the defensive because it might not work out well. So what he does is the Pharaoh, I play Elemental Hero Sparkman in attack mode. Sparkman, attack his Doll of Demise! And Hero Shock Attack! I don't know what his called attack is, but Hero Shock Attack! And the Doll of Demise and Sparkman trade. Now Arcana... you poor Jaden. You're fighting a losing battle. All you have is to get rid of my monsters. Oh, my poor... How dare you? And this is where he draws Dark Renewal. I had to figure out where the cards were in this hand, by the way. So Dark Renewal. So he sets Dark Renewal. Dark Renewal, for if you don't know, it allows you to... When your opponent summons a monster, normal summons, or special summons, I believe. I know it's normal summon for sure, which is how it will work here. You're allowed to sacrifice a monster in your side of the field plus the monster they summon to special summon from your deck or graveyard a Dark Magician. So anyway, he plays it, but he plays his Mystic Tomato, which attacks and deals an 1,400 damage to Jaden. And Jaden is now down to, unfortunately, I'm going to move you over here to be in the hand over here, is down, unfortunately, to 1,000 life points. And it's like, this is far from over. At this point now, as the button says, this is far from over. Hey, Pharaoh, we got a problem here. It's like, yes, I can see. We really need to. Tell me, Arcana, why are you doing this? You may have heard of me. I was a famous magician, the best since Harry Houdini. But also more than that, I was in love. And he explains it. And so Merrick has agreed to bring him to you. All I have to do is defeat you and bring him your Millennium Puzzle.
I will not let you succeed, Arcana. No matter what, I draw. I play Pot of Greed. This allows me to draw 2 cards.
And he draws his 2 cards. They are, come on, there we are. They are Draining Shield. Let's get you a little higher up there, Draining Shield. There we go. Draining Shield and Emergency Call. This allows... I'll place 1 card face down as Emergency Shields now, and we'll put these on the side so there's more room for the creatures. I play 1 card face down, and I play Emergency Call. This allows me to search my library search my library. You can tell I'm a Magic player. Search my deck for any elemental hero and put it into my hand. And he searches through his deck, obviously, and I choose. Son of a... doing this sometimes. And I choose Elemental Hero Clayman in defense mode.
You activated my trap, Yugi. You fell for it all. I activate Dark Renewal. Whenever you summon a monster, I can sacrifice it and a monster in my side of the field. This allows me to summon my ultimate monster, Dark Magician.
And there's a Dark Magician.
I say, indeed, but just to be safe. And then he draws. It's my move. What will you do now?
I end my turn.
Of course you will, as Clayman goes to the graveyard. Now then, another Mystic Tomato. Perfect. It's time to end this. To be safe, I'll summon out my Mystic Tomato. Now, goodbye, Yugi.
And so, what he would probably actually do is, to be safe, say he only attacks with Dark Magician.
I attack with Dark Magician. Finish his life force.
I activate my face down trap. Draining Shield. Now I negate your attack, and the attack points of your attacking monster goes into my life points.
And he goes back to 3,500 life points.
I expected as much. Still, there's little you can do. I summon another Mystic Tomato. You're through, Yugi.
And so, yeah, it's not looking good for Yugi, unfortunately. But
you underestimate you rely only on what you see, Arcana. You cannot someone like you cannot truly be a true duelist. And I have to draw the right card right now.
Well, it'd be Jaden. I have to draw the right card right now. It's all or nothing. Come on, let's do this. Now it's time to get your game on. And all right, I summon my ultimate partner, Wing Karibo, in defense mode.
Wing Karibo, that's it. You must be kidding. It's another beckoning to the dark. Perfect.
But do you think I'd waste a card like this on your Wing Karibo on your Wing Karibo? I'm aware of its effect. Still, in case you have something down there, this will make a good card later, because Battle City rules, normal spells can be used like quick play spells. So next turn I'll end it. But it's just so we're clear. But there's no way he can defeat me as is. I'll summon my Legion of the Fiend Jester in attack mode, which, if I'm not mistaken, had about 11 or 1,300. Either way, it doesn't matter. Because if you remember Draining Shield's gone. You gotta remember that. Draining Shield's gone. Because if you remember correctly what I have on the field here and what's in the hand, it's like, now then, why don't we do this? Why don't I give you at least some respect and finish your little puffball with my ultimate with my monster? I'm aware that destroying it will mean you take no damage for this turn, so let's just get it out of the way now. Dark Magician, and that little fairy. You activate. Sorry, not today.
What?
A trap card?
No, my spell card. Transcendent Wings.
Transcendent Wings. Wait, what's that?
To be fair, they don't all know these spell cards. By activating Transcendent Wings, I can discard 2 cards from my hand. I discard my Necro Shade and my Fusion Recovery. 1 second here. We're just going to see Arcana. Yep. We're going to do boop. There goes that. There goes that. There goes that. And there goes Wing Creel.
This allows my Winkaribo to turn into a level 10 monster. No, behold, Winkaribo level 10.
Is that all it does? Gain some wings and a little dragon hat? It still can't win against me.
You're wrong, because when you attack, I can activate Winkaribo level 10 special ability. By sacrificing when you attack, I can destroy all monsters on your side of the field.
You what?
And not only that, their attack points come out of your life points.
No! But that would mean...
That's over 5,000 points of damage, Arcana. You're through! Then Winkaribo! Transcendent... I'm just making this up. Transcendent Apocalypse! And then, was a... No! I think it was Catherine was the girl's name, by the way. My beloved Catherine. No! But a good magician always has a trick up his sleeve and say, I don't think so. Master Merrick, you failed me, Arcana. No, please. Where's the key? It was just in my hand, isn't it? Obviously, Jaden takes over. Come on, I'm coming! Rescues him, because Jaden's a lot more headstrong and physically minded, I guess it would be, but physically active? Inclined, I think is the best way. I don't see him being a punk like Joey or Tristan. I think I brought this up in the last video. I do see him being willing to throw hands if he had to. And at very minimum, he's probably more, it looks like he's more athletic than Yugioh was anyway. So he gets there, says, Catherine, my beloved Catherine. It was always a trick, Arcana. He never intended to keep his word. I'm sorry. No, my Catherine. It seems you won again there, Pharaoh. Merrick. Just what game are you playing? There's the only game that can be played. A game of the shadows, and soon you will know the true fury. For my men are all over this city, Pharaoh, and one of them even holds one of my Egyptian gods. When you face it, it'll be like nothing you've ever faced. Your days are over. Believe me. And obviously Arcana's just done. It's like, and so Jaden and the Pharaoh are just, waiting, bring it, Merrick. We'll take on whoever you throw at us. And then, the music swells and he makes it out. And all's well that ends well for Jaden. So this was another one where plot armor did... I'll let you know after every duel whether or not I had to use plot armor. Here was a scenario where I didn't have to use plot armor. I did mess with the opening hand just slightly, but that's more the idea I went with initially or after the fact, where if the first 5 cards aren't gelling very well, the 6th card I'll kind of work in favor. Anyway, I digress. So that's part 2 of What If Jaden Was the League of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Monsters. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you folks for the next one. Get your game on, and remember, believe in the heart of the cards.